Hello everybody, my name is Cool Blue, and I'm bringing you guys yet another Casters Network Presents a CasNet interview. And this one is just like the other ones because it's a caster who's getting interviewed, or esports related person getting interviewed. And well, we're just gonna go ahead and go down the list of the typical things. If you guys haven't seen the other interviews, go check them out. But this one is gonna be probably an awesome one because I have somebody with me whose name is actually SB Revolution 5, but we just call him Revo because that's much shorter. So Revo, would you like to go ahead and say hello to all the beautiful people out there, please?
Hey guys, how's it going?
It is going great, presumably for everybody who's watching this video. Or maybe this is the thing that cheers them up. Maybe this is the thing that cheers them up, because it'll be awesome, because they get to hear the sultry sound of my voice. I mean, your voice.
Yeah.
Yes? No? Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and get things going. Let's go and start with our first question, which is the introduction. So, Revo, would you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about yourself in real life? You don't have to get specific or anything, but, you know, just a general idea of, like, what you work in, what major you have, if you have a girlfriend who has red hair.
Yeah. Well, for one thing, I do have a girlfriend who has red hair. She's wonderfully beautiful, and major shout out to her, of course. But, I'm SB Revolution 5. My real name is Seth. But I'd rather you call me Revo or SP Revolution 5, but probably just Revo, since the other one's a mouthful. In real life, I am a college student, currently studying music composition and a little bit in piano performance. And I'm wanting to actually eventually become an orchestral conductor, if possible. Yeah.
Fancy.
But for now, I'm casting Dota, and I'm loving every minute of it. Did I miss anything in there?
Oh, no, not really. I mean, that's actually a really quick question. Because
Go ahead.
everybody who's seen Free to Play knows that Dindy played piano when he was younger, and he's like super pro elite. And his mom actually said that she feels that piano helped him out with his gaming stuff. So, do you feel that your piano playing has helped you with your gaming as far as Dota goes?
A little bit. I feel like they both kind of distract from each other, but sometimes in a good way because it gives me a break from working too hard on one thing. So, yeah.
Okay. Alright, so we'll go ahead and end that question there because, well, we got a lot of questions to go and we'll probably spend like 20 hours. You know, we could talk all day here, guys, because Cool Blue likes to talk and Revo likes to talk as well, so... Next question I'm actually, because that is a very interesting name. Like I said at the very beginning, your name is actually SB Revolution 5. Where did you get that name from?
Well, SB is my initials, so that part was easy. Revolution I got because I like to think of myself as different. As a revolutionary person, and kind of taking revolutionary ideas in a way. And then 5 came from, well, AIM apparently had 4 other SB Revolutions. So they said, here, take this one, and I was like, okay.
So you put all those things together and you get SB Revolution 5?
Yeah, and it just stuck, so.
Okay. It seems like a good way to get a name. I mean, if the first one doesn't work, then might as well go for the 5th one.
Yeah.
That is all that matters. Alright, so also, just really fast, I want to do this up front so people can know. If they want to find your stuff, what is the best way to find you? What's the best way to follow you?
You can of course follow me on twitch.tv/SBRevolution5, on Twitter at SBRevolution5, and on Facebook at SBRevolution5Dota. The Facebook page is probably where I'll post the most stuff, so Twitch and Facebook are probably the primary ways, but I also use the Twitter quite a bit.
Okay. And YouTube? Not using YouTube at all?
I'm using a bit of YouTube. It is under SBRevolution5, so you can find me there. There's a couple VODs up there and some Let's Play stuff, but not that much yet, so...
So best way is for Facebook for all your updates, and Twitch is for all your videos.
Yep.
Okay, good to know, good to know. Alright, now let's move on to the next question. How did you get into video games? Because everybody has a story, you know, oh, I was playing with my grandpa, and he passed away when I was playing Mario Kart, so I play Mario Kart all the time, and I play Dota now. Or something more along the lines of normal, which is like, oh yeah, I kind of grew up with them. So how exactly did you get into video games?
Well, apparently I started using the computer at like a very young age, and I just kind of learned it on my own. My mom is very conservative, and before I say any of this, I want to just clarify, I love my mom to death. She's the best in the world, but she didn't want me playing video games for a long time, because she was afraid they were going to mess me up or turned me on to more mature things way too early.
Right.
So I really didn't start playing video games until I was about 4th or 5th grade, I want to say, maybe.
Which
maybe
placed
even
you
later
about
than
like
that.
9 or 10?
I'm not 100% sure.
That placed you about 9 or 10 at that age, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
And I had a PS2, and I played a lot of Spyro.
Nice. Good game.
Like, that was the only game I had, and I played it inside and out every single day. Eventually, like, I got into high school, I played a lot of Call of Duty. I was really bad. Like, I want to say on Modern Warfare 3, my lifetime KD was like .13.
Sounds
It was
legit.
like awful. Like 1 in 10 lives, I might get a kill. Maybe.
So
if I was lucky now.
So you were the target that I shot every single time.
Pretty much. It was like, I finally got the Care Package Kill Streak Award. Oh my god, I'm the best. This is my best game ever.
It's like, oh my gosh, I finally got a UAV. No.
No, the UAV was rare now.
Oh, okay.
The one game
right.
where I actually had like a seriously positive KD, I probably like took a picture and framed it or something. But eventually that led to me starting to play TF2 on actually a MacBook at the time, and as I was getting out of high school, I decided that for graduation I wanted to get like a gaming laptop. So I did, and then that summer I got into Dota, and I've pretty much never looked back.
Okay, so you basically went from starting playing games at a younger age, like Spyro, and then you went to Modern Warfare, and then somehow led you to Dota?
Yeah, it's a bit of a different road.
Okay. So before you answer, just for the record, how did you get into Dota?
Honestly, I just liked Valve's games. And I heard they were making this game called Dota, and I'm like, what is this? I honestly tried to look up Dota 1, and I actually typed it out as Dota 1, because I didn't know anything about it. And so I'm looking up this stuff, and it's all very vague on Wikipedia and whatnot, and I'm like, what is this game? I don't know. So I go to sign up for the beta, because they're like, well, sign up for the beta, and we want people of all experience levels, and I'm like, well, okay. They asked me how many hours I'd played, and I was like, yeah, none. And there wasn't an option for none. It was like 20 to 40. Like, they assumed that everyone had played some sort of Dota, and I'm like, nope, none. So I just selected like 20. They asked me what my favorite hero was, and I started...
Uh-oh. Hello. Alright guys, I think I lost Revo a little bit. I'm not too sure if I lost him out here or if he lost me.
Let's play hero. The other two,
Okay, there he is.
I don't even know what I picked.
There he is.
But I honestly see Valve looking at that and saying, this kid has absolutely no experience. What if we let him in the beta? Yeah, let's do it. And so, like, a few weeks later, I got an invitation into the beta, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, oh, cool, new game, it's free. This will be great. And, oh god, it was bad. I'm gonna actually see if I can find my Dota buff, like my first match ever.
And while you search for that, I'm also gonna let Revo know that I sent you the questions, the interview questions, because I forgot to do that earlier. In the Skype chat.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
That we're in. And for everybody who's watching,
Alright,
like I said, there's a lot of other interviews out there that we've done. Go check those out after you check out this one. And Revo, his links will be posted in the description below, and any other extra links that I mentioned that we'll throw in the link, because why not? Just throw in more descriptions, or sorry, throw in more links in the description to have fun with that. So hopefully there's enough time for Revo to go find his very first match, so you can tell us.
I was Ancient Apparition. At the end of a 33-minute, 3-second game, I made it to level 6 at least.
Wow. So you're only level 6?
The next lowest level of my team is 11. Now, oddly enough, I only went 0-8. Like, the level 11 guy went 0-12, so I didn't even have the most deaths, which is abnormal for today. I had 7 whole last hits. I was playing Ancient Apparition, and I actually got boots and a magic wand. So, the first one wasn't that bad. It was the next couple that were really bad. Because my third match ever, I played Invoker.
Whoa, oh jeez. No, why did you torture...
I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I just hit the random button. And then I played this hero called Invoker. I literally got to level 4.
Yeah.
Level 4.
That's conducive to winning the game, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Now, somehow there's a Kunkka on the other team who was also level 4, so I'm assuming someone abandoned the game at some point here.
Okay.
But I also had no items at all at the end of this game, and I'm like...
So what do I buy? Why do I need items when I can't even get spells? No.
Yeah, I think that was actually my philosophy, though. I was sitting here like, okay, these are not spells, these are balls of light. Well, balls. You know?
Doesn't get ultimate.
So after this, I played so many bot matches it wasn't even funny.
Which I definitely do agree with. I definitely do agree. I play a lot of bot matches too.
Yeah. There was a point where I went with the usual pub thing, and I played Drow and Riki, and there's a point, I think, yeah, about 2 or 3 months in where I started playing Ursa. And I played Ursa religiously. Like, every game, first pick Ursa, go into the jungle, come out 10 minutes with a mech, or a Vlad's, go to Roche, kill him, go kill the enemy team.
My question Revo, my question I want to ask you though is how exactly did you get into Dota? Was it just the beta thing, or was it the whole entire playing hero thing? Like, basically, how did you find out about Dota to get into it? You just randomly saw the beta thing?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I heard that Valve was making it, and I said, okay, well, it must be something good.
And you were basing off, like, the Half-Life series and Team Fortress series?
And Portal, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a legit reason. Alright.
The only game I've played of theirs that I didn't exactly enjoy was Counter-Strike because I'm bad at shooters, but...
Flashbacks came back to you.
What can you do?
Very true. Alright, so we're going to move on to the next set of questions. And guys who are wondering, there's a slight bit of delay between our conversations because I'm on a subpar internet solution for right now because the network in our house is getting fixed, hopefully. And yeah, that's going to happen. So anyway, we'll continue on through. We'll continue on through with a slight delay. Hopefully it won't be too bad in the end. But the next section, Revo, is actually what is your favorite thing about Dota?
Honestly, it's probably metagame. Because I'd never really played a game before Dota that had a continuously evolving cycle of, okay, this is strong, so we need to come up with something to counter that. Because, like, when you take the Call of Duty thing, yeah, this gun's strong, so it's not like there's only one of those in the world. I pick that gun, you pick that gun, and all of a sudden we're all using the same gun. Which is kind of the opposite of metagame. Rather here, it's like, okay, so Sniper's a good hero. What counters Sniper? Heroes that can get in his face, like Clockwork. So Sniper falls out of the metagame, but heroes like Clockwork are still in there, so what counters them? Well, heroes with Silence, like Puck and, well, Silencer.
Right. So basically having all the different flavors of the week, I guess. Like, it's always something new, even though it's the same exact thing.
And the drafting process as well really mystified me once I really got into Dota.
How so?
Just because of the fact that there are so many options, and in a way there's always like a right draft.
Okay.
And that's always something that's intrigued me about competitive Dota. Like, about a year ago, there were games that I would just watch the draft and then just not watch the real game because I wasn't nearly as interested as I was in the picks and bans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a strange phase.
So
then I realized there's action going on in the game. I should pay attention to that.
But back in those earlier dark days, you basically saw Chin and Pudge picked up and said, okay, these guys won, and then walked away.
Not exactly.
Okay.
But it's kind of, I would play it out in my head as to, okay, well, if this happens and this hero is picked, then who wins that? Like, I'll still do that to this day, but I'll go back and watch the game. Like, this morning before I was going to take a shower, I watched a draft of some game, and then hopped in the shower. When I got out, I could see how it was going and see if my theory crafting lined up with how it was actually going.
And was it accurate, or was it a little bit off?
Depends on the day. I don't even remember this.
I would agree it does depend on the day, because
Sometimes
there's
I'm
many
like
times.
on point, and sometimes I'm so far off it's not even funny, which is great as a caster, right?
Sometimes. I mean, if you say, oh my gosh, they picked this push strat, it's going to end in 10 minutes, and then it turns out to be like a 50-minute game. Yeah, it's sometimes fun.
Yeah.
Right. So next set of questions will be the quick response section. So Revo, do you know how this quick response section works?
I believe I do.
Can we pretend you don't so I get to explain the rules?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I get to explain the rules. Alright guys, quick response section is very complicated, very, very top secret, and nobody knows about it except for the people who've done interviews in the past and the people who've watched those interviews. But, if you guys do not know how the quick response section works, basically I ask a question, Revo answers as fast as he can, and that's it. Complicated stuff,
Very
right?
complex.
Mind blown, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's go ahead
I
and
don't
go
know
through.
if I can.
So this whole entire section is about favorite things. That's what it's always about. So, Revo, favorite hero.
Queen of Pain.
Favorite courier.
The Starladder Grillhound.
Favorite team.
Alliance.
Favorite caster.
Or C&B.
Favorite caster.
Revo. No, AC, actually. Guilty pleasure.
Favorite event.
Either TI3 or the Dota 2 League. Like the D2L League.
Favorite color.
I like them all, but black?
Favorite number.
5.
Favorite book.
Ooh. The Bible.
Favorite room in your house.
This one?
What is this one?
This is the dorm, so...
So, your room in your dorm.
Yeah, I guess.
Ooh, favorite class.
Ooh. Composition lessons.
And because you play piano, favorite scale.
Ugh.
No pressure, your piano teacher's listening right now.
I'll go with the Lydian mode because that's what I'm writing a piece in right now.
Okay, that works. I don't
And no
know.
one's gonna know what that is unless
Yeah.
you're a music major, so...
I have zero clues. All I know is that there are scales in music, so it must apply to pianos. And actually, pianos is kind of where it came from. But anyway, okay, so there you go. This is quick response section. I would say you did pretty well.
It was a little slow, I'll be honest.
No, it's fine. It's all about the you respond and we keep going, as opposed to we banter about it. Which is what we're going to do about the next part, because I want to know, how did you get into casting? Because it's a huge jump. A lot of people don't notice this, but when you start off as a person who plays Dota, you just play Dota, and you might watch Purge, or Shiver, or Toby, or LD, or Luminous cast, and that's it. You just watch them cast, say, oh my gosh, Lumi, why'd you miss the first blood? And you complain about it, and you make a Reddit post, and you complain every single time. But when you actually transition into somebody...
Worse than Hitler.
When you actually transition into somebody who actually does the casting, it's a lot of work involved as far as making material, make sure you say the right things, make sure you don't make the wrong people mad, and it's really crazy. So, how exactly did you get into casting, and what exactly was it that pushed you to casting? It's kind of the same question.
Well, honestly, we could go back to like a year ago when I was playing pubs, and I'd keep getting this comment like, dude, can you shut up? Can you just calm down? Because I am very, very talkative. Like, I'm that one kid in your class that's always like, yes, I have the answer because I just am bored here, I want to talk. Okay, this. Like, it's to the point where half the time I'm not even raising my hand, and I'm not even realizing that I'm doing it because I'm just, like, talking.
Right.
It's almost, well, it can be bad in situations. But I began to realize that since I have such a love for the game and such a insatiable hunger for talking, that casting was kind of a natural fit. So over like last summer, I tried to do some casting, quote unquote. I had set up a stream in OBS that I now find out didn't work at all.
Oh.
And then I remember there was one game, I want to say it was like Alliance's last game of the group stage at TI3, that I was like, I'm going to cast this. And it was like a 20-minute stomp. Like, and I remember I did get one viewer because Shiver was casting it.
Right.
And she'd left her overlay up. And this one guy was like, I'm done with this, I'm finding another stream. And he found mine and he was like, yeah, you're okay. And I had no clue what I was doing. For the first 5 minutes, or the first 2 or 3 minutes of the draft, my screen was just black because I was running in full screen mode, not windowed full screen.
Oh,
Or
wow.
borderless. And I had no clue. And so, like, that happened, and I'm like, well, that didn't go well. And that wasn't very fun because I was way in over my head.
Right, right.
And so, I messed around with it some, I want to say. And then around September, October, I'm just browsing Reddit, as you do, you know, as you're bored.
Hold on. Hold on, Revo. Really quick for time reference, because I know it's going to be in the future when a lot of people watch this. It is actually April of the next year, so September and October will be, like, what, 6 months back?
About.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, I remembered I was getting dinner, and I'm reading along on Reddit, and I see this other casters needed for tournament. Or other language casters needed for tournament. The guy clearly didn't speak English very well, but I figured, what the heck, no one's responded to him yet, and it was like a 2-hour-old post. I'm like, this guy needs somebody, so I messaged him, and I'm like, hey, I am completely amateur, but I'd love to give it a shot, if I could. And he's like, yeah, we'll set up a time to, like, do a Skype interview, and we'll see how you do. The interview actually went really well.
Nice.
He had me cast a clip from TI2 of the play.
Right.
And, like, I knew the clip.
So you cast like Toby?
Like,
no.
throwing this at me, and he's saying, here, cast this for me live. I'm like, and I'm not going to lie, that was the worst cast ever. It was so bad. If I'd heard it and I'd been him, I would have been like, dude, go home, you're awful. We don't want you.
It's like,
and
Revo, go
he was
drunk
like,
your
no,
home.
no, you've got a little potential here. Because I, like, stuttered through half of it. I was like, and the song is, what? And the Enigma, what's that spell called? The one with the hole that's black. Yeah, black hole. Black hole. But by that time, the clip was, like, over. It was so bad. And he said, no, go ahead. And, so this was for the Megalodon Cup.
Right.
And that's when I found out this was Brazilian Dota. And I'm thinking, oh, God, I've played with Brazilians. They aren't good. They're bad.
Relative to the stereotype, relative to the hold on, just to clarify, relative to the stereotype, that is true in some sense, but keep in mind all these are the words of Revo. This is not the words of CasNet, so we're not trying to offend anybody. Revo understands that people might get offended by that. Blah blah blah. Insert legal mumbo jumbo here. So continue.
Yeah, and so that was kind of my mindset going into it. And so he gave me a week to, like, prepare, sent me the dates and everything, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fun. And the first game comes up, and it was with, I want to say, Insight. For the team then. They had a almost completely different lineup at that point than they do today, but they blew me away in terms of, like, wow, these plays and these players are fantastic. Like, I realized I was completely wrong about Brazilians. I was stereotyping. I was almost being racist in a sense, and I was like, that's awful of you. Don't do that, you idiot. And so I go on, I cast this tourney. I just pulled in a friend or two as co-caster, and, like, they were as new as I was. They had no clue what was going on. And I don't even know how many viewers we had during that tournament, probably like 5 or 6, but I remember Toy Me from ESL TV Brazil, he pulled me aside at one point, and, well, not on Skype then.
Right.
And he said, I watched some of your casting, and I was like, yeah? Oh, God, he's going to tell me I'm awful. And he's like, no, I really, really enjoyed it. He actually compared me to Toby, and I was like, what? Huh? Are you serious right now? And he's like, yeah, you're doing really good. You're going somewhere. And I'm like, okay, so months go by, and eventually I get this message from these people that are talking about this Zotac Star League.
Right.
It is this, like, it sounds almost like a myth. It's going to be the biggest Brazilian tournament there's ever been. There's going to be a $5,000, like, U.S. prize pool.
Nice. That's really good for a prize pool.
Yeah. And then they say, we can pay you. And I'm like, wait, what?
Whoa.
You can pay me? You want to pay me? And they're like, yeah, we can probably pay you. I was like, okay. And so I talked to my parents about it, and they're like, this seems a little shady. I'm like, well, even if they don't pay me, I'm probably going to do it. So
right.
I might as well accept the money. And that has just exploded into huge stuff. We've actually got the playoffs for that coming up this weekend, which are going to be outstanding. They're actually over the next 3 weekends, but the round of 16 is this weekend. And that's where I really got in with Swag and Tiger at that time, but now they're known as CMB Esports Club. And those guys really helped me get my name out there. There was one night they shared my stream, and I went up from, I want to say, like 8 viewers to 200 viewers in the course of 5 minutes.
Nice. Really nice.
Like, this is like if Alliance said, we like this caster, go watch him, and everyone said, okay, we're going there right now. We're leaving the Brazil streams that we know and love. We don't even speak his language, half of us, and we're going to go watch him. And I was just honestly taken aback by it. Like, there was a point about a week from that time where I had more viewers than P-Flax at one moment, and I'm like, are you serious?
It was a very humbling experience for you?
Huh?
It was a very humbling experience for you.
Yes. It was, I was like, I don't deserve this at all. Because I know, like, I'm not as good as those guys. Like, I have, what, 2,700 MMR? Like, I'm bad.
Right.
But, it was a really wild turn of events to think that 6 months ago, no one knew who I was, and now, like, I go into chat rooms on Twitch, and it's like, oh, hey, it's Revo, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? It's kind of nice, but, it's a lot of pressure that comes with it as well, I think, because I now know that if I'm casting, somebody's probably watching, and I need to be on my A game.
Either that or something close to it.
Yeah. Which has been really hard, but a lot of people have helped me out along the way. Poketo, for instance, has been really, really helpful. PDS, who I haven't actually been able to talk to in a while, and of course, Wadka, he's the guy who gave me the initial job and interview, and he was so helpful and so encouraging through all of it. And honestly, if it hadn't been for him, I probably never would have done this.
Yes.
Which would be quite a loss for me.
Yes, and actually, we have somebody in your chat. I don't know if you read it, but Halfless asked me about that question. But first, I'm going to ask you about that. I'm going to ask you about that, but I'm not going to ask you yet. The question I ask you first is, I'm actually going to skip over the how long have you been casting. Wait. No, okay, yeah, that's a good question. How long have you been casting for Brazilian Dota? Because you mentioned before that you casted the Brazilian scene, so you have a little bit more insight into that. So,
yeah,
how long have you been casting exactly?
It's been about 6 months or so, since October, anyway. And I mean, I've seen the metagame shift a lot in that time, simply because I remember at the beginning, Weaver was the top pick for them.
Right.
It was first pick Weaver every time, and now Weaver has faded off a bit, and the metagame is just in a strange place. We've seen Axe like seriously enter the metagame in the past week, and it's been crazy, but so exciting at the same time. But I've really grown to like the Brazilian scene, and one of the nice things is it's kind of like, oh, there's no other English casters covering this?
Right.
So I'm the top Brazilian Dota caster. There we go. I'm the top of the totem pole. It's a tiny totem pole, but I'm still at the top.
You're the first one in.
Yeah. And so getting my foot in the door with them, building those relationships really helped out. And it's been great, because now it's starting to get real interest. Like, it's looking like CMB could possibly even be at TI4.
Which
even
would
if
be
they're just on the wild card match. Like,
right.
It's a possibility. And that's like, I'm sitting here thinking, wow, I know these guys. I kind of helped make that happen.
And
in a way.
And like just to take a step back from interview mode to just normal Cool Blue mode, you mentioned CMB a lot, and CMB is a new up-and-coming team along with PDS or E-Hug and all of them. But the thing about those two teams specifically is that they played in the Sunday Evening Cup series as well, because they're North American teams. They're that region teams, North American, South American teams. So I had the opportunity of being an admin for the SECS for a while, and I actually got to cast both of those guys week after week and just see them grow, and then to hear the names getting this big, I definitely feel the same connection that you feel. It's like, oh my gosh, C and B is doing stuff, E-Hug is doing stuff. This is amazing. So.
Did you hear though this past weekend that Klotz has left the team?
No. So, wait, did you post about that in the chat? Was that you? Or
I
was that someone
briefly
else?
did.
Okay.
Yeah. He's left the team because he's going back to school and whatnot, and I'm proud of him. But I told him on Steam, I'm like, I'm gonna miss you, man, because he's such a player. Like
making those plays happen.
Yeah, but honestly, in a way, like seeing that team grow, seeing the lineup change too, it's like, okay, well, Klotz is leaving the team, but there are like kind of bad things that he brings to the team too. Like he can be too aggressive, and having a fresh blood in there that might be a little more level-headed could really be good for them and just be the change they need. Not that Klotz is a bad player by any means.
You said as far as like being too eager to do things too fast relative to the game, or as far as all chat goes.
Yeah. In the game.
Oh, okay, in game. So like
gameplay.
He's a little bit quicker to jump the gun. Like maybe try to throw an early stun before his people are ready, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So that's a good way to bring things up. I'm going to ask you the next question as well. How has the Brazilian scene, specifically the Brazilian scene, because like I said, you're involved with the Brazilian scene. How has it evolved from when you began inside of it to where it's at now?
Goodness, it has just grown like wildfire. Like, for instance, with the Star League, we had 2 qualifiers to get our 32 teams. And there were, I want to say, about 32 teams in each of those qualifiers. And like 6 months ago, I don't think you could scrape together 64 Brazilian Dota teams. Like that were serious about getting better. I really don't. Like, it was like 20 of them max. And so when these guys come up and say, hey, we've got lots of money that we want to put into this scene, and we want you to basically fight over it, people are like, let's get a team together now. We can be great, we can get this money, we can get paid, and we can do what we love doing it. So, why not?
Yeah, it sounds like...
And,
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, it sounds like a great thing, but I actually want to stop you there and ask you this question so I can follow up with something a little bit nicer at the end. Because this is, this is the nature of things that are, well, a business as far as I understand it. Esports is a business, and there are people who want to do certain things, and when views don't line up, things happen. So I'll ask you directly, because I know you're involved in Brazilian Dota. I know you're involved with the ESL TV Brazil as well. There was a recent Reddit article posted, like, I think a week ago. I think you guys posted, or no, Pokecho posted it or something like that.
I didn't post it, but yeah, Pokecho did.
That was posted, and basically what it said was, it was a long, super long letter. And actually, me and Dragon Drop and I, Cool Blue and Dragon Drop went through the video, and we dissected each paragraph, and it took like it literally took us 2 hours to do that. And that was fun, but oh my gosh, we're tired. And then we did a TLDW afterwards. So you guys can check those out. Those links will be posted below. Cool Blue promoted his own stuff, my bad. But it's ESL TV Brazil loses casters read-through, and ESL TV Brazil loses casters TLDW. Those 2 videos. Sorry, that's plugs for the viewers. Sorry, Revo. But the question I asked you...
Oh, no, you're fine.
The question I asked you, because you have a lot more inside information than we actually do. All we had was that letter to go by. What exactly happened in that whole entire situation? Because from what we obtained, there was some casters who wanted to do things to promote themselves, but the ESL TV wanted to promote the whole entire scene. They wanted to help build the scene, and the casters weren't willing to line their views directly with ESL TV, so they just... Something happened, and then everybody said, no, screw this, we're leaving.
Yeah.
So, what exactly happened relative to your perspective?
Well, I honestly try to stay out of a lot of the politics of it, because I'm friends with pretty much all of those guys, so getting on the bad side of one of them would be something I wouldn't want to happen for my reputation, but also because I like them and they're nice guys and everything. So what I think basically it was a bit of a disagreement between Poketo and the head of ESL Brazil, Joe, Joow.
Right.
And they have both encouraged me right from the start, and to this day I still keep in contact with them, obviously. But something basically happened where the contract wasn't being fulfilled or paid,
Right.
for the casters, and the casters weren't happy with it, so they said, okay, we're out of here. We're done. We're not going to deal with it. We're not going to try to cause a bunch of drama. We're just going to leave, and you can pay us our money, and we'll go. And then the money didn't quite come through, and, of course, they weren't happy with that, which, can you blame them?
Yeah.
Not really.
Right.
But, what is great for them is that over the past couple of days, they started what's called Nomad TV, which is their new channel. It's basically like the son of ESL Brazil TV. Of course, there is still ESL Brazil TV, but
right, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they recently got, I think yesterday, actually, they got sub mode on their Twitch channel.
Ooh, that's
like,
good.
already.
That is really
So
good.
they're growing out of the box. So definitely go check them out, guys. They're covering Starladder. I know they were covering American Dota League as well tonight.
All right, you said Nomad TV. I'm actually for that link afterwards. So we got Nomad TV. We got TLDR. Just writing down some notes to make sure. And Revo, could you please give us a little bit more insight as to the community as far as the Brazilian community, relative to the viewers. How is the Brazilian community? Because, like I said, a lot of people have the same stereotype with Russians and Brazilians, the same exact one, that, oh, Brazilian player bad, Russian player bad, and rages. So, could you please dispel some of that, or maybe affirm some of that if it's true? Relative to what you've seen, how's the Brazilian scene?
I think there's two sides to it. There's the professional side and the unprofessional side. And like the players that, if you're playing on US East and you run into a pack of Brazilians, a wild, rabid pack of Brazilians, okay? They're probably not the same guys that are playing in these high-up leagues. And I mean,
right.
I see these comments on Reddit all the time that make me furious, like, somebody's talking about Brazilian Dota and someone responds, no one wants to see these guys. I wouldn't buy a ticket just to see two Brazilian teams beat each other. I can just watch a pub for that. Or watch the pubs I'm playing. And I'm like, you haven't watched these teams, you don't know. Like, yeah, pubs go bad every day.
Right.
Okay, Dingy can play pubs, and guess what? He doesn't win all of them.
Very true.
So, you basing your expectations of the players on something you've seen in a pub is completely and utterly wrong, because I mean, I'm a bad player. And I can say, hey, I'm an American. Are you going to go say, wait, you're an American and you play bad, so Arteezy must be bad.
Right.
Even though he's Canadian, he's from the same area. Okay, we'll just go with that. So I think that's a problem stereotype. And most of the people on my stream understand that, like, they don't want to just hop on US East, queue for English, and then not know how to speak a word of English.
Right.
Because that's just rude. Like, there's a point where I think a lot of people aren't understanding that this is a team game. You can't just hop on and not communicate.
Right.
This isn't StarCraft. You can't play it by yourself. If it was, sure, have fun. But, like, even on stream, and I may know that I've got Brazilian viewers there, I will get angry at people. I won't really rage at them. But like the other day, I got queued up with 4 Spanish speakers, and I'm like, guys, why not just queue for your own language? It would make it better for all of us. And that's one of the things that these pro players are understanding.
Right.
The other thing is that they're suffering because of it too, because there's this stereotype out that, oh, it's Brazilian players and they're bad. And yeah, sure, they're not where the European scene is, but they're getting much better, and I honestly think that CMB, THD, and a couple other teams that are just really starting up.
CMB is Setinelis. Is that them, right?
One more time?
CMB is Setinelis, and THD is The House is Down?
CMB is not Setinelis.
That's why I'm all over the place. All right, what does CMB stand for?
I actually don't know. They're a League of Legends team initially that picked up this Dota team. Okay. Which was formerly known as Swag and Tiger.
Right. And
which was formerly known as Keed. But
and THD is The House is Down.
Old school. Yeah. Okay. THD has always been The House is Down. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, just for anybody who wants to look it up. Go ahead.
They're trying to shake the stereotype
Mm-hmm.
of Brazilian Dota and really push ahead. And that's why, like, when people say crap about Brazilian Dota, like, yeah, they might just be trolling and whatever. But this is where we need to say, no, that's not okay. That's racist. Like, it actually is. And it's not okay. And another reason, Diamond just mentioned it in the chat here, one of the reasons why Spanish players play on US East is because there's too much Portuguese on the South American server. Well, it goes both ways there. Because one of the reasons Brazilians play on US East is because there's too much Spanish on the South American server. Because in South America, you've got Brazil and you've got everything else. Brazil speaks Portuguese, everyone else speaks Spanish. And they don't understand each other. So it's kind of like the whole Eastern Europe thing is, like, where there's all these Russians that just queue for English and don't care.
Right, and it's also another thing to that, too. I think if you don't choose a language, all languages are selected by default. And a lot of times, I mean, it depends on time of the day. Usually when I'm playing Dota, it's at the hotspot time where the American scene is playing Dota, because, well, it's a convenient time to play Dota. And the same thing could probably be said about the other scenes in other regions, like when the Russian hour is up, rush hour. But when that hour is up, there's probably a lot of people queuing, and they don't select languages, and then things things happen. People get mad. They make a Reddit post, and then next thing you know, somebody of high profile in Dota community makes a comment about it, and then the whole internet runs with it. So
yeah,
I can see how it happens.
Saying, I mean, there was something that, like, the guys in the GD studio said, like, oh, well, there's these Brazilian teams, they're probably a joke. But, I mean, they were saying, like, we don't actually know, we haven't heard anything out of them, so why would we acknowledge them? And that I understand.
Right,
because it's like, if you say, I've got this great new team, they're called Hello Kitty Dota, and they're from Africa, I'm going to be like, are you nuts?
Right.
Like, I'm not going to understand that, but people that are saying, no, they must be bad because other Brazilians I've played with are bad.
Right.
That's illogical, because, I mean, I've played with Americans who are bad. I'm not going to assume that other Americans are bad just because of that, you know? So I think it's more a stereotype thing that's a problem.
Yeah, of course. And, as with all stereotypes, I'm of the believer that stereotypes have some truth behind them, and by the some truth, I mean not the super uber, like, glazing blanket that you can place over everybody, but it came from somewhere, and it probably came from some people who were very frustrated, like I said before, because they played at the hotspot hour of another language's time, and then there was a bunch of people who spoke something they couldn't understand. They knew it wasn't Spanish, so they assumed it was Portuguese, and boom, Brazilian.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like a long chain of things that eventually connected to, like, the stereotype that's formed. Because there's also the other stereotype of the Russians, like I said before, and there's some stereotypes about Canadians. But
that's that they're really nice, or that they're actually artsy. But
nice.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of it as well. I mean, I already told you guys how the first time they said, "Oh, well, this is Brazilian Dota," I was like, "Wait, what have I done? Oh no, I'm gonna be casting noob. Oh my god!" And this is at a point where I thought I was pro too. So.
And yeah, I mean, you always learn something new, especially as a caster. You always learn that you were bad yesterday. You're much better today.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really interesting scene, and I mean, shameless plug right here. This weekend we're gonna have the round of 16 for the Zotac Star League, and it's going to have some insane games of it. Like, I want to say CNB plays Void, which is another really highly rated BR team in the first round or so. Rubik Plus 4 plays Tango and Dive, and this is a match I'm actually sad is happening so early, because they're both, like, really up-and-coming teams that have grown so much, and that might be one of the best matches of the entire playoffs. So but yeah, you can, of course, check that out on my Twitch this weekend. There'll be a Reddit post. You can actually bet rares on it, too, so that'll be exciting.
So, my question, because a lot of people are watching to the future, I mean, also they might want to feel more jealous. How much does a ticket cost?
The ticket is, I want to say $7 US dollars.
$7 US, and that comes with a courier, right?
It comes with a Juggernaut set.
Oh, a Juggernaut set, okay.
Yeah, it's very nice, actually. Sadly, I don't have the set, but... Oh.
Us casters, we don't get all the cool stuff.
And, of course, if you're watching this during, like, summer 2014 or fall 2014, as far as I know, we're still going to be doing Star League seasons then, and then a like grand final season in like November, December, which there's been talk about seeing if I could go to Brazil to cast that on land, and I'm like, oh, dream come true, but I don't know.
What? That's under hush hush. We can't talk about that. It's not official, so let's go ahead and move on to the next question because I really want to ask you this question. We've been talking about the community for a long, long time, and I want to end with this question of the community. It's a continuation of the question actually way before we started talking about the whole issues that Brazilian Dota might be facing here or there, but the growth of the scene. As far as you've seen, you said that it's grown almost exponentially. Do you foresee it growing even bigger in the future and to one day reach the size of the scene of the Americas and then eventually the size of the European scene? Because as far as I know, the European scene is the biggest.
I don't see it reaching the size of the European scene as much as I see it kind of merging with the North American scene and then kind of becoming this just America's scene.
Now, my question to you, my question actually is for fast, because there was somebody who had like a ranking. They were basically talking about the list of like teams, and they put the European scene as like the highest. Then you had the Asian scene, and then Asian scene is the highest. European scene. Then you had the American scene, and by American I mean North American. Then you had Brazilian and everybody else. No, Russian. Russian was in there somewhere. But basically they had like a generic ranking, and they were saying that Brazilian was like towards the bottom, right? Yeah, it was like towards the bottom, and the American scene was like towards the middle. So, do you think having these high-profile teams come out like the House is Down, like Void, like CMB, do you think that's going to help push the image of the Brazilian scene as a thing of, oh, these guys are competitive?
I definitely think so. And, I mean, I just pulled up the leaderboard right now. Of course, RTZ is right at the top, but second, and this isn't Brazilian, of course, but Revenge's Smash, who they're a Chilean team, of course, and they're very big. He's at number 2. He is literally about 100 MMR behind RTZ. And then if you keep going on down a little bit, you've got King RD, who is, this is not official by any means, but he's kind of rumored to be the replacement for Klotz on CMB, which would be amazing for them. But he's at like 21. You've got Tavo, the offlane for CMB, at 33. And then as you keep going down, you're seeing a few more Brazilian players just start to leak in here and really kind of become a figure in the community. And I think that's one of the things that's really important for this scene, being able to grow and whatnot.
Okay, and
Revo was on here, I thought.
And I want to make a nice little tangent from this and actually go into another question that's not really Brazilian related, but it's kind of like Dota related and also other games related. So, Halfamo mentioned that Brazilian Dota on Dota 2 Lounge, ? I think it was just asking about it.
Yeah.
As far as I know, Dota 2 Lounge is where you go ahead and bet your rares and stuff. Is that correct? Or is that where you just chat?
Yeah, that's where betting. You bet your rares, and it's coming this week, and it's going to be so exciting. Okay,
betting, as far as the scene's growth goes, is that a thing that you feel is pushing the community in the positive direction, or more so like a negative-ish direction? And this is just an open-ended question. I'm not saying that I have any personal views on it. I personally don't like betting, so I guess I do have some bias, but your view on the whole entire betting to push the scene further.
I really think it's a good thing for the community because it... as long as it's not real money, because then you can get into other problems like, oh, well, I ruined my whole family because I bet all my real money on a Dota team, and then you're just a loser, let's be honest. But betting your in-game items, I mean, it's an in-game item. Let's be real, people. It's not that much at stake, but you still feel like you do have a lot in stake at the team, and then, therefore, you're more attached to the team.
Right.
And you want to cheer them on. You really want them to win. It also brings in more viewers. Like, I'm just going to be completely honest. Like, with that Dota 2 Lounge thing, I'm like, oh my goodness, so many viewers are going to be coming. I'll at least get 5 new followers. I'll finally hit 500 followers on Twitch. Twitch.tv/SBRevolution5, just saying.
Nice. Well played.
But, I really think it's a very good thing for the game because, I mean, at the end of the day, if you lose all your in-game items, have you really lost anything? Not really.
Well, there's some sites that claim they bet money.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
But I feel like it helps to push the players to play better because they know they have someone depending on them to win, kind of.
Right.
Not to mention that they're gonna get paid if they win, but. So I definitely think that's a healthy thing for the scene in general.
Okay. So let's go ahead and push on forward. There you go, guys. Revo thinks it's positive. Cool Blue's being like the Grinch and it's like wants to take all your fun away with boringness and wants people to just sit there and watch the game. But hey,
he's just mad he lost his rares.
No, I don't bet rares. I just recently started buying things in the store, which, oh my gosh, dude, the price difference between stuff in the market versus stuff in it's ridiculous. Anywho, okay. Next question I ask you is what other games? No, sorry, skip the question. My bad. Aside from playing Dota, what do you do for fun? This is not video game related.
There's fun outside video games. I mean, I hang out with my girlfriend a lot. I watch a lot of Netflix while I'm playing other video games, so I guess that doesn't count. And of course I have my music to keep me occupied, but that's honestly about it. Like, video games are a really important part of my life, and I like it a lot. I mean, there's not much else to say about that much.
Okay, there's actually a follow-up question I can find in there. I will force the follow-up question out of this because Cool Blue's the magic question, man. So the question I'll ask you out of this is, video games are important to your life. You mentioned that just now.
Yeah.
As far as your kids go, in the near future or far future, depending on when you want to settle down with family and stuff, do you foresee yourself raising your kids to be the ones that play games a lot, or are you going to be more defensive and have them a little bit more sheltered from what you've been, I guess, exposed to? Actually, no. You were kind of a little bit more sheltered. So are you going to be more liberal with your kids' plays in the future?
It depends on the game.
Depends on the game. Okay.
My mom held me back from shooters and Grand Theft Auto a lot, and I think that was definitely a good thing for me because they can be very addicting because it's like bite-sized pieces of gameplay, and it ends up honestly becoming mindless violence. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, I played Call of Duty and I shoot things there, so I'm going to shoot stuff in real life like people. No. And
actually, Revo, I'm actually going to pause you and do an interjection real fast, because with the current trend in video gaming, if we've all been seeing, and probably in the future this might be more true than it is now, but people are starting to get more and more used to playing games like Candy Crush, playing games like Flappy Bird, playing games like Plants vs. Zombies, where it's literally just a bite-sized game. Like, you play it for like, with the exception of Plants vs. Zombies, you play it for like 2.5 minutes and then you run out of energy and you have to go do something else. So do you foresee...
Plants vs. Zombies, you play it for 2.5 hours and then don't want to ever stop.
Yeah, that's why I said I kind of take on a list. But do you foresee yourself protecting your kids more from that as opposed to protecting kids from video games in general? Like, do you see you try to push your kids, say, hey, go play some Doom because this is the old school. It shows you where games came from instead of playing all this Bejeweled nonsense.
Bejeweled knockoffs. Yeah. I honestly think the whole new games are good, but in the same way, like, there's a point where it can be too short. And, for instance, if it's like less than 5 minutes of gameplay and you actually feel satisfied like you've finished a game there, I feel like you may be missing something in terms of a gameplay element.
Hey,
or if it's something
all I'm going to say is 1 minute hero. That is amazing. Or 30-second hero?
That's amazing, yeah. Half-minute hero. That's what you're thinking,
half
right?
Minute, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. But that's... I mean, you have 30 seconds, yeah, but you play that in longer spans of time. You don't sit down and play a 30-second match and say, oh, well, I'm done. No.
Right.
But I think the real problem with gaming that's coming in the future is these, like, Farmville things, where it's like,
the pay to
oh, I'm playing a game because I'm planting crops, but you're spending 5 minutes playing and then 3 hours, like, waiting for your crops to harvest. And the question becomes, well, what are you really doing?
Yes, and quick lesson. Do you mind if I throw some knowledge at everybody?
Sure.
Okay, Revo, actually this question. Do you know why that is like that? And just like, you can either say no or give like a brief explanation.
Because they want to make money off of it?
No, that is not really correct. Originally what it was basically the people who made Farmville, was just kind of where it all started. They were trying to build it around your Facebook habits. So people, when they go to Facebook, look at it for 3 minutes, check all the statuses, and then they go about their day. An hour later, they come back, check their Facebook stuff, and then they go about their day. So basically, they had this cycle thing going on just normal people. So what they do?
Yeah.
What they do is they said, okay, we're going to build a game to get just enough of their attention so they can actually say, okay, 2 minutes, buy your crops, and make it part of your routine for Facebook. And once you do that, then it basically gets ingrained in your mind. You say, okay, you know, I have Farmville in about 3 hours. I got to wait for 3 hours for this crop. And then you come back in 3 hours to Facebook, and then you do Farmville and Facebook. That's more time for the advertisers to get guaranteed views. That's more attempts that they'll have to get you to click on things. That's more attempts that have you get to buy things. So that's what they originally came out of.
I think that's a really bad thing because it's taking thought out of the game. Because all you're doing is saying, okay, they say this crop goes here, so I'm just going to put it here. Like, no, why are you doing that? Well, because I want more crops. Why? So I can make more gold to buy other crops, and then use those to make more gold. And it's just an endless cycle of, what is this helping you with in real life, really?
Yeah.
Scheduling your time around a virtual game, because that's not helping you with real life.
Well, it is helping real life. You know, it's conditioning you to buy more virtual things.
Yeah, which bad thing.
All I gotta say is that Dota market. Come on, you spent money there.
Oh yeah.
You spend real money on virtual things. You can't deny it.
Yeah, and I can understand that. It's just it's a touchy subject for me.
It is. It is a very touchy subject. And guys, boom! Cool Blue just expanded a question that ended in like 5 seconds to like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Alright, so what other games do you play?
I play pretty much anything I can get my hands on. The only thing I really haven't sunk much time to is like WoW and big MMOs like that. But I'm really into Hearthstone. I'm really into action RPGs like Path of Exile, and now that the expansion has fixed the game, Diablo 3. Which those are like, instead of Dota where I actually have to think about it, they're strategic, but it's like my chill out game where I can just zone out and kill stuff. Like, I don't have to think about anything, I can just relax, and yes, I'm killing monsters and they're dying, and that's cool.
It's less intense than Dota.
In a different way, yeah. I still think it's very intense, but more in a
mechanical way?
A grind way. And of course, I mean, I play a lot of single player stuff, like the Batman games,
Bioshock?
Bioshock, yeah. Like the classic, like, campaign, story-focused games, of course. And of course, StarCraft. I mean, you can't not play StarCraft.
Yes, you can. You can do like me, and I love Brute War, but oh my gosh. Blizzard split it into 3 parts, and I was like, nope, F all this, I'm walking away. Excuse me, guys. Excuse my language. I did. I had to. I'm too broke. I can't pay $40 for the same game. That's not cool. 3 times.
3 times? You mean 2 times?
No, 3 times. The expansion packs. The last one was going to be a Protoss.
There's only one.
The last one's going to be Protoss.
Yeah, but it's not up.
I know, but it's still going to be a thing in the future.
Okay, cool.
Well, it's totally true. They broke it into 3 parts, and I was very sad. I was like, dude, just give me 1 game, and then you give me, like, Brute War again. That worked out, because I didn't...
Blizzard always has sunk a lot of content into their expansions, though.
Yeah, I'll give them that. Because, Heart of Swarm came with its own little campaign for the Zerg, and it also had a lot of new units, which changed the whole entire game.
Yeah. The campaign for the Zerg was so easy.
No spoilers.
No, like, if you've played Zerg, you need to crank the difficulty up to the max, because it is, like...
What?
Like, there's one mission where they pretty much give you, like, 80 Zerglings right at the start and say, hey, can you kill stuff with these? And I'm like... Don't you know that I play multiplayer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, technically campaign is the extended training mode. We all know this.
Yeah. And it was really a multiplayer patch that was bigger. Anyways.
Right. Okay, so moving on. Actually, no. Yes, moving on. So do you have any interesting talents that you would be okay with telling the internet?
I can actually juggle. I haven't done it in a while.
Ooh, how many's your max? What's your max?
I've tried 5. I can't remember if I ever actually pulled off 5. But I mostly stuck with 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you juggle like just normal juggling balls, or do you juggle like the whole entire pins and stuff?
I've done the pins. I haven't done knives or anything flaming or something. But yeah, I was really into it around middle school.
Chainsaws? Chainsaws? Come on, chainsaws?
No.
Come on, come on.
No.
Come on, pass to me. I got this. I got this. Come on.
I'm a pianist and a gamer. My fingers are very valuable.
Well played, well played. So you can juggle, and you play the piano, and you play games.
Yeah, pretty much.
One more talent. There's gotta be one more talent.
I've done some, like, short story writing that I'd have to dig up from the depths of a closet somewhere to actually... I'd have to bring it out of the closet to show you anyway.
Are we talking slash fiction or fan fiction?
Not fan fiction.
Oh.
Like, original short story kind of
Oh,
stuff.
okay. You made it up yourself. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, completely.
Mm-hmm. That it?
Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm pretty good looking, but...
That's not a talent. That's a natural thing. Don't worry. I have the same problem, man. I have the same problem.
Yeah, I know. It's a rough disability to live with, right?
Yeah, just walk down the streets and the ladies just fall all over you because you tripped them. But let's not talk about that part. I actually did trip a lady today. It was an accident. She's okay.
Mm-hmm.
She's okay. It was just like a little. It wasn't a trip. It was a stumble.
Okay.
It was just okay. Revo, do you have any shoutouts that you would like to make? And please feel free to make any and all shoutouts.
To everyone that has watched this interview, because you guys are clearly the best. To all the people that like help me moderate my chat. I mean, to like Stylus Pie, Packer Crunch. You guys know you're the pub crew. Even though we haven't played in like 2 weeks, which is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
We need to fix that. Like Waffle, Nero, Yaps, Igor, the guys that are usually in chat, hanging out, Kifty,
Mm-hmm.
to pretty much every one of the Brazilian players except Plock Ambiana.
Why so much hate?
It's kind of become an inside joke. There was a game the other weekend that me and Dragon Drop did where they lost to CMB, and instead of calling GG, he said Ambiana, which is the Brazilian or Portuguese word for tomorrow, and meaning we'll see you guys tomorrow at the grand final after we come out of the lower bracket. Then they went down to the lower bracket and got stomped.
Oh man.
So the next day, CMB comes into the game with their player name, and then it says, like, Ambiana. Like, yeah, tomorrow, we remember. The best part was, though, while they were getting stomped, like, I remember specifically Tabo and Klotz got item drops.
Oh, wow.
For Insights players getting killed. It was like the most ironic ever. Of course, all of you guys, too, with the caster group who've helped me out so much and everything, and the ESL Brazil guys and the ex-ESL Brazil guys, so Skiat, Pocoto, PDS,
Zotac?
Splendor, Joe,
the Zotac people?
and of course the lovely admin Gabby,
yes.
Who is the best ever, honestly. I feel like I've missed someone.
You
and
totally
whoever that is, you
missed the love of your life. Come on, man. You must say generic shout out to your girlfriend.
Yes, I shout-outed her at the beginning, but she is the best, no matter if she's supporting me or not on this day of the week.
And see, there you go,
Sometimes
guys.
I can get a little
Guys, and ladies. For all the ladies out there who want a Revo's heart, it's already taken. Sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah, your princess is in another castle.
Yeah, I had all those viewers. There was somebody like, Revo, have my babies. I was like... And to Drake Bell for letting me use his likeness as my own face.
Oh, fancy. Oh, also, that's another thing. Revo, you have the interview running on your live stream, correct?
Yes.
And you have a webcam, right?
Yes.
Okay, last time somebody did this, I'm not gonna name any names, but CasNet got like 50 views and Renes's video got like 150. So I don't know what it is about people in webcams, but guys, Revo has the webcam. You can check it out there if you want. It'll be linked in the description below. I probably should have mentioned it earlier so we have more people can go to watch his stuff. But seriously though, go watch it on his also, so you can see his beautiful face. No homo. Because CasNet's all about promoting
Yes.
the actual caster, not ourselves, though. We're perfectly fine with you guys giving them 100 viewers, but we appreciate you guys giving us like 2, at least, please.
Yeah. And don't forget the Star League this weekend. It's going to be on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/SBRevolution5. It's going to be some awesome Dota. It's going to start, I think, Friday night, like 7 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Which, relative to the future, this would be like a long time ago, but okay.
Yeah. And then, like, all day Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be pretty exciting, though.
Oh, yes, and also shout out to Halfamok. He got a lot of views, and he actually fielded a lot of those. I think he fielded them towards CasNet, which is great. And he said without a webcam. I'm going to just assume he said without webcam.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's totally what he said. But Revo, last thing I'm going to ask you, well, next to the last thing I'm going to ask you is where can people find you if they really want to find your stuff?
We talked about this before, but I'll be glad to make a shameless plug again. Of course, twitch.tv/SBRevolution5. Twitter is SBRevolution5 and Facebook at SBRevolution5Dota.
And YouTube.
Oh, yes, and YouTube at SBRevolution5, which eventually will have some actual content, not just random videos.
Mm-hmm.
But you can at least see the list of videos I've liked and commented on recently. So,
yes, that's always interesting. That's always creepy and interesting. So there you go, guys. The links are right there in front of your face. Hopefully I spelled everything right, because I totally had a typo when I was doing this earlier. But I think all those are fixed. So those links you guys see there will be right. And if anything, the links in the description below will be perfectly fine. So definitely go check him out. Like I said, he has the video getting recorded, or this interview getting recorded on his side, so I'll link his video to it. You're going to put this on YouTube, right?
I'll just probably go ahead and post it to YouTube.
Okay, so I'll put that YouTube link below so you guys can see that if you want to, and see his awesome face, and he totally looks like somebody I know in my real life. His name's Kevin, and it's weird. I look at you and like, you're Kevin. Stop lying. But you're not Kevin. Kevin's cooler. Oh, shots fired.
Yeah, and on those shots, I guess that's the end of our interview here.
Yes, that will be close to the end of our interview. We have one last thing for you to do for us, Revo.
Is this a surprise? Okay.
Would you please say goodbye to all the beautiful people out there, please?
Oh, well, I will see you guys later. Thank you all for watching, and hope you have a great evening, afternoon, whatever time of day it is when you're watching this.
And with that, we'll go ahead and cut the interview there. Guys, my name is Blue. I just watched you guys this interview of our esteemed guest, Revo, so thank you, Revo, for joining us. Don't forget, Casters Network is the YouTube page that all this is on, so you can check this interview out and all the other interviews that we've had. This is interview number 18, if I'm not mistaken. Or, well, sorry, too high.
Something like that.
Either 15 or 16.
Hi, Kevin.
I don't know. This is why I usually don't say the numbers, because I always get confused.
It's a number.
It's interview number something. And we have all kinds of interviews up there. Also, check out CasNet for other things, such as eventually, and hopefully by the time this video gets posted, we'll actually get started on that. Caster tips, so we can help people have better quality in their casting, because we've seen a lot of things that we feel like we can help people out with as Casters Network.
Some stuff, man.
And there's also a bunch of things that CasNet offers, so go ahead and check out CasNet. Definitely go check out Revo. Check out his stuff. He covers Brazilian Dota, which is unique, because I think he's one of the only casters that I know aside from him, Pokido, or I keep calling his name. Poketo.
It's number 16.
And, oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
and got you covered.
And also like 3 other people who are also in the circle of casters that I know that cast Brazilian Dota. And I feel like Brazilian Dota needs more coverage, needs more people to get the name out there, and needs people to help bring that image up, guys. Try to be positive with your scenes, please. The Russian scene as well, same thing.
Don't flame Brazil on Reddit.
Yes, don't flame Brazil on Reddit. Just because you're angry doesn't mean you can just say, oh man, all Brazilians are horrible, because that's totally not fair. Totally not fair. So anyway, with all that said, like I said, we just watched you guys this interview of Revo, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it there before I say anything else, because I feel like I can talk forever. So hey guys, hope you guys enjoyed the interview, and we'll see you guys whenever.